And the Aaron Rodgers watch appears to be over. The quarterback saying on the Pat McAfee show today that he intends to play for the New York Jets next season. Sports director Noah Manderfeld is in studio to fill us in on all the details of his announcement. Noah, it looks like this high-profile divorce is almost final.
Jeff, Aaron Rodgers says it was clear the Packers were ready to move on from him, even if they wouldn't admit it to him. He eventually decided he agreed. The decision came on Friday, he said. He explained in a long-winded answer that he was 90% sure he was retiring when entering the darkness retreat a month ago. But then he got the sense the Packers were ready to move on, and his opinion shifted. And with that, barring a deal being finalized, Aaron Rodgers will be the quarterback of the New York Jets next season.
The Packers would like to move on. They've let me know that in so many words. They've let other people know that in direct words. And because I still have that fire and I want to play and I would like to play in New York, it's just a matter of, getting that done at this point.
And that deal is still being finalized. There are multiple reports out there for what the Packers are seeking, but the Jets and the Packers are discussing a trade for Rodgers, and it's really hard to ignore this similarity. In 2008, the Packers also traded Brett Favre to the New York Jets. Brett Favre inked a fourth-rounder and played that year in New York. Behind Favre was a young Aaron Rodgers who had spent 3 years in Green Bay and was ready to be a starting quarterback. Jordan Love has 3 years under his belt. Will he be Hall of Fame Part 3? It's obviously tough to say that, but it's going to be really fun to see that similarity and how it plays out.
That's right. Aaron Rodgers has made up his mind. He says his intention is to play for the New York Jets. Sports director Noah Manderfeld is in the studio with us. Noah, you've been following this saga so what led Rodgers to this decision?
It's a long saga. And Cassandra, in a long answer, Rodgers says it basically comes down to the fact that he still wants to play and the Packers are ready to move on. He said he got that feeling in February when he heard the Packers were, quote, shopping him around. He was 90% sure he was going to retire when he entered his darkness retreat shortly after. He came out and realized he wanted to play, but it couldn't be for the Packers. So after 18 seasons and 15 as the starter, Aaron Rodgers will not be the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers anymore.
I have nothing but love and appreciation. It's been bittersweet. Like, coming to this reality has been really bittersweet because I was drafted by Green Bay. I love that city, love that organization, and always going to have love for that organization. But the facts are right now, they want to move on.
Oh my God, it's right there. See it.
And now so do I.
Aaron Rodgers added his life is better because of his time in Green Bay, but he has to look at the reality and see it's just time to move on. And the career he put together in Green Bay may have cemented him as the greatest Packer and one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. His 475 career touchdowns are #1 in Packer franchise history. He also has 9 of the top 10 single-season passer ratings in team history. He has 4 MVPs. That's second most in NFL history. And he has some bling with that, a Super Bowl ring with an MVP in the 2011 Super Bowl. He's a surefire Hall of Famer, but one of the things he specifically mentioned was that he is the longest tenured Packer ever, 18 seasons. That's what he's most proud of. Now, a trade has not happened yet, but we'll talk about those logistics and the Packers' future later in sports.
Now sports with News Channel 7's Noah Manderfeld.
If you missed the story everyone is talking about, the Aaron Rodgers era in Green Bay appears to be over. The quarterback announcing his intention to play for the New York Jets next season. Rodgers says the Packers are ready to move on without him, and he's ready to go his separate way. Like Brett Favre before him, he will go to the Jets, but there's no animosity from Rodgers this time.
They don't want me to come back, and that's fine. They're ready to move on with Jordan. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think Jordan's going to be a great player. He's a fucking great kid. He had a really good year this year, getting better, on the look team. He's got a bright future in front of him. They got a good young team. The fact of the matter is, you got a aging, face of the franchise for the last 15 years that it's time to do right by.
He, of course, means a trade, and there are varying reports of what that could look like and even how long it could take. But a trade would add a big dead salary cap hit, which would add $9 million to Rodgers' salary cap hit already with him gone, and then the Packers would need to figure out the compensation. ESPN is reporting the Packers want multiple first-round picks. NFL Network says they aren't. For what it's worth, Brett Favre netted a conditional 4th-round draft pick in different circumstances, and it turned into a 3rd-rounder. As for the future of the franchise, the time is now for Jordan Love. Love will likely be the starter this season. The Packers have until May 1st to exercise his 5th-year option. He is in year 4 of his rookie deal. The Packers figure to have $4 million in salary cap space, though that number is always evolving.